Okay, so I'm going to do a Russian accent now. I'm just going to read from my notes because I'm also trying successfully to study. I'm going to start out in a heavy Russian accent, and then I'm going to transition to a lighter, more like Russian immigrant type accent. Okay. But the kidney has checks and balances that make sure things are working properly. We talked about the glomerular tubular feedback already, but now let's introduce the concept of juxtaglomerular apparatus, the JG apparatus. It's made of a few components. It's made of a specialized cell called the macula densa, and in general this is quite boring to listen to, so I will actually, instead of reading, we'll actually just talk to you. So basically, it depends, right? If you're going to really have very heavy accents, then you can barely speak English, and it's unrealistic to try to speak English just like like a native speaker, like with the same speed. Most people with a very heavy Russian accent probably do not speak English very good. But if you're trying to talk a little bit more fast, like maybe somebody who's been here for maybe like 20 years, then you can just alter some of your vowels and consonants to sort of match a little bit better, until you get very subtle, because then by the time you're talking basically like anybody else, but you're a little bit subtly like wrong, because you have like certain mainly I guess the R's and the L's and some of the vowels, like for instance, instead of bacteria, instead of bat, it's difficult saying sort of soft mushy sounds of English language, because so basically they say like bacteria, or like cookies instead of cookie, like it's very difficult for them to get these subtle nuances of English, which is not to say that that Russian isn't subtle. I mean, well, Russian is very subtle. The sounds of Russian are not very subtle. They can be difficult, but ultimately they're very hard, very pronounced, and there are many sounds you cannot really replicate in English, like like really hard, meaty sounds. So basically, I guess you can make the point that any language, any foreign accent, often when portrayed in the media, is just caricatured, and it's stupid. Like in any movie, they hire somebody else to do a fake accent, and it really just comes off like I started out in the beginning, but maybe even worse. Kind of like, I mean, Misha, drink this vodka, drink. No, I watched this little bit from comedian. He basically said, you want to make Russian accent, you basically put Y's in everything, right? So you put like, you're driving at the wheel, and you say, what was it? I'm not as good as he is, really, but at the comedy, I'm better at accent in my humble opinion. But you stick Y's in everything, so like, instead of this traffic is unbelievable, you say, this traffic is unbelievable. And this is not bad, because, like my thick Russian accent, I would say, this traffic is unbelievable. And with, lighter accent, this traffic is unbelievable. So, this is how you're really going to hear the Russian accent in everyday life. And honestly, it's one of my better, more authentic accents. Probably much better than, and more consistent than my British accent, because British has so many different regions, subtleties. I could probably do Cockney a little bit better, more consistently than the other types of British, because it's just more colorful. It shows up in the media a little bit more, but the only way that I'm able to maintain any kind of like a distinct accent is usually, especially when I don't know it very well, to have some stereotyped phrases. Like really, right now I'm just using the accents, alone. I'm not using any stereotyped phrases. I'm just saying the words I want to say. But with Cockney, with this English variety accents, I really have to use different phrases. With Cockney, it gets a little bit dirty. So I don't know if I can do it on YouTube at this point and not get marked 18 and over. Anyway, I hope that you learned something, that included a little bit of food for thought in this video because Hollywood, or as the Russians say, Gollywood, they really do quite a poor job of portraying accents as being too caricatured, and then the reality is that you're going to encounter a lot of more nuanced accents that are mixed with English. And I'll do one on French pretty soon, and it's a little bit rusty, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, bye bye.